Hi everyone. I'm going to walk through the 6 steps of a call here on a couple of calls that I placed on Ray's screen here. So I'm going to go in. I put them both under the pending screen. So I'm going to go in here. This is how your day would unfold. We go in, we highlight the call in question, we open it up, touch the screen. It's going to display on the screen, and we're able to take a look at a couple things proactively. Number one, okay, what is the correct address? Do we know where we're going? Is there a customer note with this account? And number two, we can scroll down and take a look at all of our call information, okay, including the last readings by meter code. And we take a look at the call is a copy quality call. All right, so I can take a look at history. And history is going to bring up the history on this piece of equipment, and it's going to display on our screen and show in reverse order the last calls that we had on this piece of equipment, and it will show parts that were used, the date of install, and so forth, and your meter readings for each meter code. And take a look at that. Now, going back to that call we had this morning, in addition, if the media file was attached to the previous call, you can see that by going and touching the hyperlink to the media files, and it will display on the screen. And again, we can share that with somebody if we need to. If not, we're back to where we left off, and I'm going to go back again. Now there's the help desk feature that you can go in and just request. Again, it's nothing to build. It's all your history that's currently out there you guys have been doing for a long time. If I select the help desk, I can go in here, I can query information based on this particular default model and serial number, all codes, all information. However, I can blank out the serial number. Now it will search on the history for all models, okay? All serial numbers for this model. I can find a certain code like copy quality. I can search on certain texts, or I can search on certain comments within the calls or remarks, your service history, or a customer name or number, and hit the search button. It will display that history up on the screen. And again, a lot of dealers use this for call avoidance, especially if they're traveling out to a remote area. Hey, what have other technicians done that can solve or resolve a certain problem? Make sure I have the correct parts with me proactively. If I get that information up on the screen, I've investigated it, it looks pretty good. I go back to my main screen. I can go ahead and take a look at, do I know the correct address? And it's going to go ahead and it's going to display up, how do I get there from where I currently am? And once I figure that out, I just get out of my map software, and I'm going to go back to my main screen. Now, once Ray has determined that he's got all information, and I'm just going to take a look back to the main screen, make sure, let's say he thinks he needs to have a lower roller. He can go to his inventory. He can take a look at all of his parts that are in stock. We'll display on the screen first. It defaults with on hand. I can type in lower roller. It'll search on all items that have either that item number or the description, and we have nothing that has lower roller in it. Now I can go back. I can just key roller. It's going to find everything in my car stock, but I have quantities on hand for some sort of a roller. Okay, and take a look and bring it up on the screen, and I can look at that. I can look at the detail. I can see how many I have. I can see my min and my max, how many available, and my yield. So we should get 150,000 copies on this thing. Okay. Now, I'm back to my main screen again. Hit the back button, and now I'm ready to go. So I'm open up my call. Ray currently has a call dispatched on his screen at Ag Partners. I'm not going to mess with that. I'm going to go open up my fake pending calls here. I've got 2 hours and 45 minutes to get there. My call number is on the far right. I touch that call again. It displays on the screen. I select dispatch. Okay. And now it's defaulting with the mileage. The last recorded mileage that Ray may have entered was 97,785. And I dispatched myself on that call. And again, it's doing a GPS tracking, identifying where I physically am with my mobile device right now. I go back to my main screen, and now I'm going to show up under the dispatch button as having the Metro sales call dispatched to me. Okay, so I go ahead and I'm going to I'm driving there. I arrive. Okay, I mark the arrive button, and now I'm there working on this piece of equipment. It's going to default up on the screen with my arrival time. If I had automatically traveled using GPS 5 miles, okay, it would default with 97790 in my screen. And I select arrive. And I'm here. I'm working on the Automate system. It's flagged me as arrived on this call. I'm here working. I can look at parts. I can add parts on the fly. I can look at history. I can go back to my main screen. I can do whatever I need to do. I can add media records. If I find something that's intermittent, I can go capture media from my mobile device, take a picture or take a video. It's capped on the size based on your mobile provider. And I'm just going to go ahead and choose file again. I'm going to select the that Metro Sales one I had from earlier, and I'm going to save it and just call it recurring issue and hit save. Now, it's in my active call here as a saved media file, and I can go in here, and if I want to share that with somebody, I'm just going to share it with Ray. Okay, so I can go view media. It displays my file up on the screen, and I can select it, and I can, the far right, I can share that. I'm just going to share this. Again, I'm not going to uncheck everybody. I'm just going to share it with Ray. Okay, so there. Now Ray's going to get a text message and email. This file's been shared with him. Back to my main screen, waiting for an answer. I'm continuing on, cleaning. I'm going to replace that lower roller. All right, so I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to add parts. And I put in my roller. It's going to display my options up on the screen. I'm going to select the correct roller that fits in this piece of equipment that's in my car stock. And I'm going to slide down this feed roller. Okay, I select it, displays on my screen. My default quantity is 1. My retail price is $7.81. I add the part in. I immediately get display in amber or yellow that I have one part that I've recorded on this particular call so far. I go back to my main screen. I can continue to do more things. I can update the notes, the call remarks on the fly. And I've also always got to notice that I have added a part. Now, I also clean the machine, and I am totally finished now. It's ready to go. I hit the finish button. And are you finished? Would you like to completely finish this call? Yes, I would like to completely finish it. So it defaults up on the screen. Now, is it totally complete or is it a rescheduled call? And the first one I'm going to do now is just a totally complete call. I select the complete button. It defaults with my ticket entry information on the screen. So now we've covered dispatch, arrival, we've marked it complete. We're step number 4, which is ticket entry. It defaults with all my information. The only thing I'm required to put in here are at least 6 characters and remarks. I'm going to put replaced roller and cleaned. And again, you can press the microphone on your mobile device. It'll automatically transcribe your voice recognition into the screen for you. Okay. Your problem code, I had a copy quality issue, and that's from your Metro codes. The repair, I actually had 2 things. I cleaned and checked, all right, and I replaced a roller. Now, if you have replaced, maybe replace supplies, I'll go under that one. And my meter reading, 9942. My 14221. Okay. Now, again, I'm going to stop here for a second. If you have service copies, you can put them in here. The next time it does contract billing, it will subtract the service copies. So if I put a positive 10 in here, the next time we do contract billing, it will subtract 10 copies from that contract invoice. Now, the other feature is a lesser entered meter. So Ray gets here and he identifies that the last reading was really only 222 or 228. He can go ahead and put in what he sees, 228, checks the lesser valid meter reading box, and here's what happens. Number one, it lets Ray continue on. He finishes this call and moves forward without getting forced to do anything else. Behind the scenes, the proper recipients at Metro Sales receive an email indicating the following. For this call number, Ray has, for this serial meter, Ray has a lesser entered meter reading. He's currently seen on the screen 228. The previous call was 322. So he's going to move on, but however, someone at Metro that receives this email is assigned the task to go and investigate and clean up the serial meter records or contract billing records, whatever it may be, if need be, and move on. So I'm not going to do that right now. I'm going to go and leave these as they were, 322, and in scanner, and we're ready to go. Press complete. Ticket entry screen is completed. Now we are in parts entry screen. Review parts. I've already entered a part in. We can come in. We can add more parts if we need to. Okay. There's that feed roller. I could add another part in. If we also put in a blade, I could add that in. It's going to find everything I've got in my car stock that has a blade in there. So I'm going to go with drum cleaning blade and put that in. We can add that on the fly again. Okay. Now it's going to display on the screen. It's going to default with a quantity of 1. I get my list price on the screen and I add it in. And now I view my parts. And I go, well, wait a second. The price was changed to 0 for both of them. And the reason it's been changed to 0 is that ETMS takes into consideration your bill code from eAutomate. And this particular serial number has a bill code that covers all of the parts and consumables and labor and so forth, and change those totals to 0. So we can continue on and go to the final step, which would be signature capture PDF creation. However, I'm not going to mess up Ray's car stock. So I'm going to delete both of these entries out of the screen. All right, so we're going to delete the first one. And as you can see, you can delete, or you can change the quantity, whichever way you prefer to do it. And this is blank. I'm going to select done. And now we've finished step 5. And I'm going to go on to step 6. And step 6 is going to be the final piece where we signature capture from the customer, and once that displays up on the screen, they are going to sign your screen with a stylus if you guys carry a stylus, or the finger that they can just sign with their finger on it. So here we are. Here's the customer signature. Their email address, if they have one in their contact in eAutomate, will default. I'll just put myself in there for now. Ray has permission to attach service tickets to email, and we've got our labor, travel, material, so forth. And I hit save. The call gets marked complete. An email gets sent to the customer, and the call is closed, and the PDF is created and attached to this completed call in eAutomate. And we're back to our main screen. So now Ray's back here. His screen's going to refresh. We're going to get updated information about where he's at today. So now he has 2 completed activities, 2 completed calls, 1 time card entry we had done earlier today. His MEC time, travel time, non-product time. He has 25 minutes of total time accounted for, and he's off to his next particular call. Or he could look at inventory, if he wants to take a look at his stock. If he thinks he needs something, that let's say he's looking for a certain part number, a drum, and he doesn't have one, okay? But he knows what he's looking for. It's going to display up on the screen. And let's pretend this OPC drum is what he's looking for, okay? He doesn't have it. He can go to transfer part and see what his teammates have, okay? So we go into transfer part. It's going to display on the screen, and I can put in there OPC drum and search. And it's going to find up on the screen everyone that has that particular drum in the system. And any technician that's dispatched or arrived on a call or show their last call, it'll default with their last GPS location so they know where they are. Okay, so either where they're currently at or their last known location will display. So we can make a selection. If you happen to select it from a technician here, it will do the following. He will get a notification, an email, and a text message that Ray would like this part. If that technician accepts the request, it will transfer it on the Automate system for him. Okay. Now we go back to the main screen. I'm not going to do that right now, but that's how it works. Also, if Ray has a part that he's never had before, or he thinks he's going to need something for a call, he can go in and request a certain part that maybe he's never had in his car stock before, but it's a valid item number. And he can make that request to the main office, and it'll go to the inventory logistics console and actually request it and go through the whole ILC thing to make sure that they get a notification, the request, if they need to order, whatever protocol they follow, and they get it on order for him. And I'm going to hit back button because I don't want to do that right now. And my back button again. We're back to our screen. And I want to go back to the main menu, or the main screen again, and we're off to our next prompt. So if you have permission now, we've covered that life cycle, that first call. It's all 6 steps. Now, in addition, I'll step out for a second to manage. And if you guys have permission, by teams, we can see what everyone has going on. Art at Twin Cities Winelson, he's both dispatched and arrived within the hour, so it shows green. Brandon has been dispatched and arrived at Minnetonka Moccasin for greater than 2 hours. He's on hour number 3 out there, so it identifies that by going red. And anybody that has an amber, that they are on hour number 2. So Gary, for example, was dispatched at Metro Sales, and he was dispatched over an hour ago, but he arrived, and he's been arrived at that site within an hour. So anytime you need to know what's going on for the day, a lot of service coordinators and dispatchers and managers are monitoring the screen to see if anybody's in trouble or anybody's not checked in. And if they need to check in, we could select the technician on the far right, and I'm going to uncheck everyone. I'm going to select Ray, but we know where he's at, and hit send. Ray's going to get a text message and an email asking him to check in to ETMS, and then basically check in and update his screen. Because throughout the day, the goal is we want to make sure that we identify where we're at and where we're working. Now, once that's finished, I can look at another team, or I can go back to the home screen, and I also can create a call. Now, create a call is going to go in and let you select either the name, the model number, the machine ID, the customer name or account number, and let you create a call and put up on the screen. If you use this feature, it's a great feature, and I love it for the technicians in the field to be able to do this. When you guys walk in and they go, hey, Ray, while you're here, can you take a look at this other machine on the second floor? So it allows you the flexibility to take care of that stuff without having to call in. But here's what happens. If Ray does create another call, he goes and gets the ID off that piece of equipment and goes in and does a search, and he can see all the equipment that has that ID, I guess, up on the screen, and he can go and select it. If he selects it, he can create the call, and you can use your codes, and we'll get your list of call types and expanded on this. Okay. In addition, though, we can also go up there and look at history. And the history will display all of your calls in case you want to check to make sure that, A, this is the right call. Does it really need this, and so forth. And now here's our history again in reverse order, including those 2 calls we've done for test calls that have all the information. However, it also has those media files. Okay. Now I'm going to go back, and if I create this call, and I'm going to do so, I'm going to put it on Ray's screen. The call's created. Now behind the scenes, here's what happens. An email goes to the correct recipients at Metro Sales, identifying that a call was created and actually put on Ray's screen. Okay. So here I am in here. I've created another call in here, this other one with 907 for Metro Sales, the same serial number, but you guys see the point. So that email has gone out to the correct recipients, so everyone knows that this call has been created. Now, obviously, Ray created it, so it's up to you if you want to receive an email or a text message this call was created. Now, we're here. If you have permission to do so, let's say that Ray created this call by mistake. If you have permission by Jeff to do so, you can go to and want to cancel it. You can go to the manage screen. You can select your team, you can select the technician, and then you can select the call number, okay? So if I select this call number, and if I have permission to go in down here to cancel, you will see another button. You see reassign is down here and history. And if Jeff wants to give you guys the ability to cancel, you can cancel. If you cancel a call here, it obviously writes back to eAutomate and cancels the call in eAutomate. However, an email again is sent to the correct recipients at Metro Sales, identifying that Ray canceled a call, and it shows the call number and all the information regarding so. So now I'm gonna go back to my manage screen, back to the main screen, if you will, and just review kind of the upper right-hand corner of different functions. Okay, right now I have the admin button checked for Ray to go in and look at more detailed information, but that'll come out and only certain people will have admin. But if you have the ability to only locate text, you can touch the locate tech. It's going to show all the team members that you've been approved to work with and kind of see their screens. The only thing is you don't have the ability in the manage screen is to go in detail and reassign or possibly cancel a call. You can basically see where your teammate is. Now, back to the main admin button again. Open calls by customer or by scheduled date. Completed calls we talked about. When you complete a call, you can go in and take a look at what you've accomplished. The GPS allows you to do a test and test your device to see if it's properly triangulating a GPS location for you. Okay. If you also have permission to get in here, we can do an open call map. And I'm a huge fan of the open call map. Some dealers have this set up on a screen in their service department or some in their showroom, identifying where the techs are all at. Okay. So now, right now, I'm going to toggle all techs, and I'm just going to go dispatched or scheduled. And now everyone should display on the screen of your guys that are in training here, as long as they've been dispatched or arrived on a call. So right now, up here, we're seeing call number 51405, and I'm not sure who 587 is, but anyway, so we've got that information. We go back, we can touch the hyperlink and take a look at the call. Otherwise, this screen is here, and it refreshes every 3 minutes. It's going to refresh and bring up a refreshed information about where everybody's at. Okay. And now I'm going to go back out of here to the main screen, and we have a roll up, if you have permission to view it, of all the effective numbers. And we can see by technician, and this is looking at I believe the last 30 days as a default. We also have a scorecard, which I really like. And again, it defaults with the last 30 days. And it brings up everybody. However, I can go in, I can toggle my text and redisplay. It's going to show the technicians that are part of this test or training group. And we see all the average start time, all this information, which is very important in managing the effectiveness of our performance to take care of our customers. And I go back to the main screen. I've got one more thing I want to do here for you guys. Now we've covered everything regarding the 6 steps you need to know about. How to dispatch, how to mark yourself arrived, how to mark yourself complete, how to do ticket entry, how to do parts entry, how to do signature capture and close the call. Okay. Now, the final piece is the reschedule. Instead of totally completing, we're rescheduling and go back for parts or whatever it may be. So now I'm going to go back. I'm going to grab this next call that I had, and Ray's on his way there. He's dispatched. It defaults with our last known odometer reading, and he's on his way there. And he shows up in there. He marks himself as arrived. And it's going to display up on the screen and do our GPS tracking. If we're on a mobile device and I'm actually out in the field moving, it's going to default with the correct reading based on how far our vehicle or our mobile device has traveled. And now Ray's here. Okay, we're working. We walk in the door, and now it says, "Hey, we don't have the part that we need here." Let's say there was an exit tray bracket that's broken. And he comes in here and we don't have it. We don't have it anywhere in the system. Here's what happens. Ray still goes in and he selects finish. Okay. However, when you get to the next screen, we are not complete. We are rescheduling the call. And rescheduling the call will mark this first call complete and create a new call to go back. Okay. So now what do we need? Well, these are your options you guys have set up in eAutomate. And the usual one is that the top one, service needs parts, is usually the one that's used the most. Okay, what do I need? Okay, or what's the reason? Needs exit tray bracket. Again, on your mobile device, you can punch the microphone and speak this stuff in and it'll transcribe it for you and submit. Now, what parts are needed? Now, if I have a valid part number that I need, now I'm just going to put this in there, and I'm looking for an OPC drum. I put that in here. It's a valid part number. What do I need? When do I need it by? Okay. That's going to default with today's date. Or if I need it by next Tuesday, or let's go Thursday the 2nd, I need it. And a note you can put in there too, that all goes in to the Inventory Logistics Council that we need this part. All right. And I'm on to the next one. So there's my needed parts. I can view it. That's a valid one. It's in the system already. Now, eTMS allows you to do the following if you guys use it this way. For a part that's not yet in the system, but you need it, we add a part. Okay, now you guys might use, I don't know if you guys use a 411 number at all. So some people use like a 411 or a 611, which is a miscellaneous code. It's a valid item number for things that are not yet in the system. And some people use that. Now, in lieu of that, let's say that I have a part number out of the manual that's this. But the system goes, I don't recognize that in eAutomate. Okay, you can still select it. eTMS allows you to still select it. Okay, what do I need? I need one And what's the part number? Part number 45333 PRG. Okay. Now, I can add this in. It allows me to do so. And here's what happens behind the scenes. This invalid part number stays with the call until someone on the ILC goes in and verifies that this is the correct part and adds it or maybe changes the part number in this call and gets it updated properly. If it was the wrong number and they have the correct number in stock, they go into the call and they put the correct number in there, then ETMS is automatically updated with the correct part number. If it truly is the correct part number, but however, we've never ordered it at Metro Sales, then as soon as someone creates this thing in eAutomate and gets it on a PO and gets it out to Rico or wherever it's supposed to go, once it's valid, then ETMS automatically picks up the valid part number in there. So, but we allow you to get it in there and get the ball in motion and get it to the inventory department or parts department and let them do their magic to make sure that it's the correct number, okay? And we move on, but you guys as technicians are able to move on. So now, do we want to add this in, view the needed parts, okay? Or are we done? Now, I'm going to go in. I don't want to mess up anybody here with Ray or anybody ILC, so I'm just going to I'm going to delete this one out, the valid one. I've got this fake one in here. It's going to show up as a bad sync part in the inventory logistics console, and they can just delete this because this is a fake rescheduled call. All right, and I am done. Now, a new call is being created right now to go back when Ray gets this part. However, we still have to close the ticket on the original one and any parts that we may have used and still get a signature capture if you'd like to have one. So this is the original call now, the ticket entry screen. We still have to do this. Your default information populates, okay? We have to put at least 6 characters in the remark. You can touch the microphone. You can transcribe it in orally into the screen. And we, again, I would just put in, ordered exit tray bracket. And then, machine working. Okay. The problem was, again, some sort of concern, damaged, I don't know, whatever you want, whatever the code would be. The repair was we ordered parts. Now you guys probably have some sort of a code here that you guys might use for down needs parts working or needs parts down, something like that. So I'm not sure which one it is, so I'm just going to grab one of these here, and then we get down to our meters again. So we collect our meters. And we're off to the races. Okay, now that ticket entry is done on that original call. And I'm still going to ask us though, did you put any parts in when you were there? And we did not. So we just select the done button. Are you sure? Yes, we are done. Now the final step again goes back to step number 6. We still have the signature capture. Okay. So now with a rescheduled call, some dealers like to have you guys collect a signature. Some don't. It's up to you. Sometimes it's good that you go to the customer, look at, we're coming back. We've got a new call number to come back, and the customers will sign again, or some guys just put their initials in here that we're coming back. It's a no charge call, and we save it. Now, the original call is marked complete. And now we go back to our screen, and the main screen is going to identify that call is complete. However, there's also a new call that's under the black collapsible button that indicates Metro Sales. It's on hold, okay? And we can open up this call and display it up on the screen, and it's going to tell us what's it on hold for. Well, we need this 45333 PRG, and there's no description. And that no description tells me that this is not yet a valid part number on the eAutomate system. It's going to go to the Inventory Logistics Council and show up there as a bad sync part that it's not valid in the system. Now, we're not trying to use this in ticket entry. It's a rescheduled call. So once they take a look at it and they figure out that, okay, this is either the right number and we don't have it in the system yet, we need to order it, or it's the wrong number, maybe it should have been, 45334 PRG, and they correct it, and it goes back into the call and corrects it. Same. Now, as a technician, Ray cannot release this call, okay, because it's waiting for parts until someone in the ILC or the parts department says that, okay, we've got this on order, it's in, and we're going to send it out to Ray, and they move it off the hold screen or the hold collapsible button to on hold parts available, okay? And then Ray can go out and take the call, move it to the pending screen, and go out and take care of it. Now, so that closes out. We've got two types of calls here. We've got the regular one where the call's completed and move on, and the 6 steps, total completion. And then we have the second one I just did here, where it's rescheduled, okay? And on rescheduled call, we still go through those steps of we have dispatch, we have arrived, but instead of complete, it's rescheduled, all right? But we still do parts entry if need be, or ticket entry and parts entry if need be, and signature capture on the original call, okay? And that's closed out. Now, if we go to Ray's completed calls, you will see that original call is in here, okay, that we just completed, all right? And so we can go take a look at the service ticket again. We can look at PDF. We can look at those media files, whatever you need to take a look at. So it's a quick reference for your calls that were completed. And I'll go back to our home screen. And I'm not sure if there's anything else that I want to show right now, but this basically completes all the cycle of everything. Any questions, we'll put this out on your shared MSI app. And any questions I'm included on that, please let me know and I will respond to you. But the first thing we're going to do with Jeff this afternoon, we're going to make sure we get those codes, call types set up properly for you guys. All right. I'm going to just close out and log off. I'll cancel this call, Ray, that's one that's sitting out here. Okay. And make sure we get this all cleaned up so that the parts department and the service admin is not in disarray with it. Thanks, everybody. I'll talk to you soon. All right. Take care.